if you change your job or change your career, is that a luxury or not? The answer to that will depend on whether or not you think that having a job or a career that you like, that you enjoy, that you find meaningful, is a necessity, is a basic need or not. And that is something that only you can answer. And I'm not saying that there is a definite answer to this either. I'm not saying that it's yes or no, because it depends very much on your own belief system, your priorities, and of course your particular situation. And in fact, if you live in a developing world, in a third world country, and if you are part of the lower middle class and you are really struggling just to make ends meet, if you're struggling just to find a place to live, and if every day you have to ask yourself anew, what will I eat today? Will I have enough money to feed my children? And will my children be able to go to school? Or, I don't know, will I be able to buy medicine and so on? Then yes, you are in fact struggling. And if you're in that kind of situation, then indeed thinking about changing careers might be a luxury, yes. Because what changing careers means, in effect, is that you need to sacrifice some time. You need to invest some time. That's the better word. You need to invest some time to prepare to transition to this new career. And that is by either getting some kind of certificate or another education or training or, I don't know, volunteering or doing an unpaid internship and so on. And all of these things are things that are usually not paid, right? On the contrary, you usually need to pay to do these things, not internships, but I mean getting another education or doing some training, for example, right? So you have to invest something into it. You have to invest resources. That could be money, time, and energy. And if you're in that kind of situation that I described earlier, where you are truly struggling, where you cannot even meet your very, very basic needs, then of course changing careers is a luxury. Now, changing jobs is a different thing, because while changing careers needs a larger investment and there is a higher risk attached to it, although the reward is also higher, changing jobs is not necessarily a risk. It's only a risk if you quit your job cold, meaning that you don't have anything else lined up, and only then start looking for a job. In that case, of course, then that would be a huge risk. But if you change jobs and it goes smoothly, it's continuously, meaning that you wait until you get an offer, a signed contract with another company, and then you leave your job, then there's almost no risk involved there, right? Except if by the time you leave your job, that new company tells you that, okay, we've changed our minds, we're not going to take you, then that could represent a small risk. But in general, switching jobs is not a risk. And normally people would only change jobs if the new job is better than the old one, meaning either more suitable to their personality, or pays better, or has better working conditions, and so on. So changing jobs usually comes with an upgrade, right? So in that sense, changing jobs is definitely not a luxury, whereas changing careers, yes, that might be the case. Okay, so that was my review, my analysis. If we're talking about people who are truly struggling to meet their very basic needs. But now let's get to the majority, let's say not the majority of people, but let's get to the group of people, and you are likely, I think, to fall into this group of people who have already passed the threshold of your basic needs. So you are no longer struggling to buy food for yourself. You have some kind of health insurance, either from the government or through your private health insurance, and you have a place to live. And it doesn't matter if that's If that's a 2-bedroom apartment, whether you're staying with a friend, your roommates, or you're still living with your parents, it doesn't matter as long as you have a place to live. Then I would say that you are no longer struggling to meet your basic needs. You are no longer in a survival stage. And if you're no longer in a survival stage, you can actually afford to change jobs, for one, certainly. And you can also certainly afford to change careers. It is not a luxury, because you have already met your basic needs. You have already met your basic needs and you have already secured them. So now you can go on to the next step and ask yourself, what is it that would provide meaning to my life? What would fulfill me in my job?